Have you ever wondered how some leaders stay calm under pressure, navigate tough conversations effortlessly, or motivate their team even in challenging times? Well, they've likely mastered the art of emotional intelligence, or EQ. But where do you even start if you want to improve your EQ? Today, we're going to dive into the key elements you need to work on first to boost your emotional intelligence. These might actually be the most challenging to change, but don't worry, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Building emotional intelligence is a journey, and like any new skill, it requires time, effort, and self-reflection. So let's break down the two most important areas to focus on first: self-awareness and self-regulation. These are the foundation of emotional intelligence, and they'll make all the difference in your leadership style. Self-awareness is all about understanding your own emotions and how they impact your thoughts and actions. As a leader, this is absolutely crucial. Why? Because if you're not aware of your emotions, they can control your reactions. Imagine being in a meeting and feeling frustrated because things aren't going the way you planned. If you're not self-aware, you might snap at your team, get defensive, or shut down. These reactions can damage relationships and derail the entire conversation. But when you're self-aware, you can take a step back, recognize your emotions, and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Think about a time when you were under stress. Maybe it was a project deadline, a challenging conversation with a colleague, or an unexpected issue that popped up. What did you do in that moment? Did you react quickly without thinking, or did you pause and reflect before responding? Let's review this scenario. You've been overseeing a project for the past few years. It's something that's dear to your heart, but lately the results are worsening, and now another team has been invited to make it a collaborative effort. Sure, you need help to make a bigger change, but with the size of the team growing, the guidelines are being set at a much slower pace. There are varying opinions, and consensus is hard to reach. The new year starts, and there's still a lack of direction to inspire hope for turning things around. The pressure is real, and it starts to build. Your frustration begins to rise. The stress is overwhelming, and without self-awareness, you might react in ways you'll regret, maybe raising your voice or blaming others for the delays. But here's where self-awareness comes in. If you're self-aware, you'll recognize that your frustration is clouding your judgment. You'll understand that stress is a natural response, but it doesn't have to control you. Instead of reacting emotionally, you pause, take a deep breath, and give yourself a moment to step back. You know that it's important to approach the situation with clarity and calmness. Rather than letting the pressure dictate your actions, you decide to have a calm, constructive conversation with your team. You can acknowledge the challenges but focus on ways to regain direction and work through the difficulties together. With self-awareness, you're able to lead in a way that not only helps you stay composed but also inspires your team to rise above the obstacles. Being self-aware isn't just about recognizing when you're upset, it's about understanding your emotional triggers. What makes you happy? What makes you anxious or irritated? Using that awareness to manage your responses. You can't change what you don't recognize. So self-awareness is the first step toward becoming an emotionally intelligent leader. Think about a leader you've worked with or admired. They probably had the ability to stay calm in chaotic situations, right? I've been fortunate to work with several leaders who inspired me to embrace self-awareness in my own leadership style. I often think of this one leader whose cases were frequently delayed by another colleague due to reasons like urgency or complexity. Now, as the messenger, this leader could have easily reacted with anger, defensiveness, or even refusal to accept the results. That kind of reaction would have created a tense atmosphere and instilled guilt and fear in the messenger, making the situation even more difficult. But instead, this leader was always able to see the bigger picture, stay composed, and provide clear direction. They understood that responding with frustration wouldn't solve the problem and would only escalate it. They stayed calm, communicated their perspective without blame, and found a solution to move forward. Why? Because they were self-aware. They knew how to recognize their emotions in the moment and didn't let them cloud their judgment. This ability to remain calm under pressure and to understand their emotional responses made them an effective leader and a great example of emotional intelligence in action. When I'm faced with similar situations, I pause and think of this person. I ask myself, how would this leader react if given my situation? It helps me reset, keep my emotions in check, and approach the challenge with a clear and level-headed mindset just like they would. Now let's move on to self-regulation, which is all about how you manage your emotions once you're aware of them. Self-regulation helps you stay calm and make clear, rational decisions, especially under pressure. Think about it as a leader. Your emotional state impacts everyone around you. If you're stressed, your team feels stressed. If you're calm, your team is more likely to stay calm as well. Self-regulation is key to maintaining that sense of stability. Let's say you're in a heated situation, maybe a colleague is upset or you're dealing with a difficult decision. If you let your emotions take over, you might say things you'll regret or you might make a rushed decision. But if you're practicing self-regulation, you'll have the emotional control to stay calm, think clearly, and respond appropriately. Imagine you're in a meeting with your boss and they're unhappy with the progress of a project. You can feel their disappointment and it's starting to trigger a defensive response in you. Without self-regulation, you might find yourself arguing back, making excuses, or shutting down the conversation entirely. Even worse, you could end up feeling wronged and consider resigning from your position, thinking your boss should understand your hardships. But with self-regulation, you can take a moment to pause, breathe, and let your boss vent without taking it personally. You recognize that their frustration is about the project, not about you. Instead of reacting emotionally, you focus on the issue at hand, acknowledge their concerns, and look for a solution. By managing your emotions in the moment, you remain calm, composed, and in control. This calm, composed approach won't just diffuse the tension in the room, it will also build trust and respect with your boss. They'll see that you can handle difficult conversations with maturity, which strengthens your credibility as a leader. Self-regulation is also about managing your impulses. We all have moments when we want to react immediately, maybe we're annoyed, or we feel like we're not being heard. But self-regulated leaders understand that reacting impulsively can lead to negative outcomes. Instead, they take a step back, breathe, and think before they speak or act. That pause makes all the difference. Let's say you're the leader of a team and one of your team members made a mistake. It's frustrating, but it's also an opportunity to provide feedback and support. If you react impulsively and get angry, the team member may shut down and be less open to learning. They might become defensive or disengaged, which can lead to more mistakes in the future. But if you approach the situation with patience and understanding, you can guide the person through their mistake, offer constructive feedback, and help them grow without escalating the situation. This way, the mistake becomes a valuable learning opportunity, not just a source of frustration. Wouldn't you want a leader like this, someone who remains calm, composed, and focused on the growth of the team, even when things don't go as planned? Self-awareness and self-regulation go hand in hand. Self-awareness helps you recognize when you're feeling certain emotions, and self-regulation allows you to control how those emotions influence your behavior. Together, they create a strong foundation for effective leadership. Think about a time when you've been in a high-pressure situation at work. Maybe you had to make a tough decision, or maybe emotions were running high in a meeting. If you were self-aware, you could recognize how you were feeling in the moment. And if you had good self-regulation, you could choose to respond calmly and thoughtfully instead of letting your emotions take over. Let's imagine you're leading a team through a tough time in your organization. Everyone is stressed out and tension is high. The budget is tight and capital for purchasing expensive equipment is minimal. You still have to serve your clients with limited resources and ensure they remain satisfied. In this kind of environment, frustration and stress are inevitable. If you're self-aware, you can recognize your own feelings of frustration and stress. You understand why you're feeling this way, but it doesn't control you. But if you're also practicing self-regulation, you'll choose not to react negatively to others' stress or let it escalate. Instead, you'll stay calm, take a deep breath, and guide your team through the situation with clarity. You'll make decisions with a clear head, even when the pressure is mounting. Your ability to remain composed despite the chaos around you will inspire confidence in your team and create a positive atmosphere even in the toughest times. Who doesn't experience stress and conflict in their role? If you've been promoted to a leadership position, it's because you've demonstrated the capability to handle tough situations and the mindset to grow through challenges. Self-awareness and self-regulation are powerful tools that will help you navigate those challenges. When you understand your emotions and how to manage them, you're in a much stronger position to make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and inspire trust in your team. So the next time you find yourself in a tough situation, take a moment to reflect, breathe, and respond with intention. By doing so, you'll find that your leadership becomes more effective and you'll handle challenges with greater ease and confidence. the more you practice self-awareness and self-regulation, the better equipped you'll be to lead with clarity, calm, and focus no matter what comes your way. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more leadership tips, and share this video with someone who could benefit from improving their emotional intelligence. Let us know in the comments how you practice self-awareness and self-regulation in your leadership journey. See you in the next video.